In this video, I'll break down 10 must-know tips and tricks if you're a Final Cut Pro 10 editor. Now, these are things that I wish I knew years ago, so I'm making this video to kind of help kind of speed up your Final Cut Pro 10 workflow, and so you don't make the same mistakes that I made years ago. The first tip I want to go over is how to clear cache data files in your Final Cut Pro 10 projects. Now, this is something that I did not realize, that while you're editing a video, a bunch of cache data is going to start building up, and you could even have like 200 or 300 gigabytes of cache data that you don't even aware of that's filling up your computer or filling up your hard drive. And let me show you how to fix it. So you can see I have this project right here. What you want to do is click on the library right here. So you want to click on your library. Then what you want to do is you want to click on File, go down to Delete Generated Library Files. And before I do that, let me just kind of show you what I mean by it. So if I click on the library right here and I scroll down, as you can see, cache files. So this is all of the cache files that are building up. So right now it's not that much, it's only 14 gigabytes, so keep an eye on that number. So if I head over here again, click on library, go to file, go to delete library files, and what you want to do is you want to click on delete render files, and you only want unused only, or else you have to re-render out the project. So delete render files, unused only, click on OK, and as you'll see that on the where it says cache, it says 14 gigabytes. Now it went back down to, I think it says 6 gigabytes. So you can see now we just cleared a bunch of cache data. So I go over here back to the project and kind of just go through the project a little bit, then I'll go back to library, just make sure it updates. So click on the library again, and then you see, you scroll down, cache files, and you see now that's a lower number. You really want to clear your cache data files, or it's going to really build up, and you can literally have 400 gigabytes of cache data, and you're not even aware that all that storage is being filled up. Now, the next tip I want to go over is you want to edit all of your videos on an external hard drive. You do not want to be editing videos on your computer's hard drive. Use an external hard drive. I'm using a Samsung T7 SSD hard drive, so you can see here it is. Now you want to just go through about installing it. It's a little complicated to install these hard drives, but it should be once you go on YouTube and look up some videos. But I basically have a Samsung T7 hard drive installed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the hard drive. This is what I do for all of my videos. Now you can create like folders. So if I go over here to YouTube tutorials, now let's go ahead and just right click and create a new folder, and we'll just call this like Final Cut tips. So you go ahead and create like a folder right here, click on return. Now you can go ahead and open up this folder right here, and you can right click and put whatever you want, so a new folder. And then I usually just have like a media folder, and then I'll go over here, go on date created, and now we just have a media folder, and you can put as many folders as you want. Now you can drag your media into the folder. So if I go back out, and now the best thing that I usually do is I'll open up an old project, or just go ahead and open up a new project. So what you want to do is you want to open up Final Cut. So I usually open it up through an old project, but you could just simply open up Final Cut. Now what you want to do is you're going to head over here to File, go to New, then you want to click on Library, and we'll call this again Final Cut tips. Now what you want to do is you want to locate my Samsung T7 hard drive, and you want to go through and locate the folder. So Final Cut Tips, Media. So make sure you're selected on the folder right here, not on the subfolder, on the main folder right here. Click on Save. Now what you want to do is you want to go to Storage Locations, Modify Settings, and what I usually do is I'll change the media, so go to Choose, and I'll select the media to be Final Cut Tips. So you go ahead and locate it, click on Choose, and then I'll go over here to Choose, make sure it's on Final Cut Tips, click on Choose, and then I'll go to Backups, Choose, Final Cut Tips, the same folder, click on Choose. So we're all basically saving it into the same folder. So Media, Final Cut Tips, In Motion template folder, Final Cut Tips, Final Cut Tips. Go ahead and click on OK, and there you go. Now you have it saved. So see, all these folders, they should be updated. Now go ahead and let's just exit out of this project right here. And now what you want to do is you want to reopen up the folder, so locate where you have it saved. So Final Cut Tips, as you can see, now we have the media folder with the cache data, and now we have the actual library. So now we can open up the Final Cut Tip project, and there you go. As you can see, location Samsung T7, and that's how you save a project. Now everything you do, everything you edit is going to be all editing on the Samsung T7. So basically all the cache data will be stored on the T7, not on your computer. Saves you a ton of space. Now the next couple tips I want to go over is using keyboard shortcuts and editing with proxy media. Keyboard shortcuts basically helps you like take some sort of action, importing media, creating a new project, exporting, with just using a couple keys in your keyboard instead of going through and clicking with your mouse to create a new project. So a couple of the keyboard shortcuts I like to use is clicking on like Command N. That creates a new project. So now we can name it like Final 2, and we can adjust the settings and then just click on OK. Now you have created a new project. Now when I import media, what I'll do is I'll click on Command I to bring up the import window, and I'll just locate which files I want to save. Let's go to like an old tutorial, so film burn transitions, and let's select on a media clip you want to use, and let's just use like this Post Malone clip. Now select on the media. Now what I like to do, or the folder, whatever you want to do, and then click on transcode media. I have it checked on create proxy media, codec, ProRes proxy, frame rate 50%, and then all I do is I just import that clip. Now you don't have to import it as a proxy. You can go ahead and just transcode it in the actual media window. I like doing that because when I switch to proxy media, I don't have to do any kind of transcoding. It will just all automatically do it by itself. So I go ahead and just import this clip right here by clicking on W. Now I've imported this clip into Final 2. Now if I want to switch it to editing in proxy media, I'll just go ahead and literally go over here to the window right here and click on proxy only. So select on proxy only. Now it's going to transcode that video to now the playback is going to be in proxy media. If I didn't import as proxy, I'll have to actually like right click on the video and transcode the media. Because I imported as proxy, it just makes my life a lot easier. Now when you want to go about exporting the video, what you want to do is go to view and then click on optimize/original. So now you can go ahead and export the video. You can't export the video as proxy media. All proxy media does is it basically just decreases the quality on the playback, so it's just much easier to edit the video. The next tip I want to go over is a really cool thing to know when you're dealing with slow motion. So for example, as you can see, this project right here is 30 frames per second, but this clip right here is 60 frames per second. So we can actually slow the clip down if we want. Now to know exactly how slow you can make the clip, what you want to do is you want to select the clip right here, go to the speed wheel right here and click on automatic speed. As you can see, Final Cut obviously slow 50%. That's easy math because it's a 60 frames per second clip and a 30 frames per second timeline, so we can slow it down to 50%. But as you can see, Final Cut just automatically does it for you. You don't have to like do all the math and all the calculation. Final Cut literally automatically slows it down as slow as the clip can go. Now another really cool tip to know is you can actually export like screenshots from your project. So if I head over here to the export window, as you can see, I can click on save current frame. Now if you don't have that, you should be able to go to add destinations and then literally drag save current frame into your like destination right here. So click it and then just drag it right here, and then you exit out and it should automatically save. But if we go over here, go and click on it, save current frame, as you can see, now we're going to go ahead over here to settings, and now you can export as a JPEG or PNG. So you can go ahead and select on this and export as well. So we'll see JPEG, and then just click on next, and then we'll go ahead and just export that to wherever you want to have it saved. Now if we go over here and click on cancel, the really important thing is it's only going to save where your playhead's at. So if you want to save this frame but your playhead's over here, when you're exporting the save current frame, it's not going to export it. So wherever your playhead is, that's the frame it's going to export. Now a couple other tips I want to go over is basically how you can use this really cool color picker tool and how you can go ahead and actually save your own effects. So let's go over here and let's click on Control T and create a new text layer. Now we can go ahead and select on this text layer and name it whatever you want. So we'll go ahead and just type in like Post Malone. So we can go ahead and just type that in and name it whatever you want. Now we can increase the size of the text. Now what you want to do is, let's say we want the red from this girl's shirt to also be the same color as the text. So what we're going to do is we select this text right here, head over here to face and open it up. As you can see, the color tool. Now if we select the color tool and you select on this eyedropper tool right here, now you can go ahead and hover over and pick the color you want. So let's say we want this red color, and then as you can see, there we go. Now of course you can go through and adjust the actual color too, and you can adjust different stuff too, but that's basically all you have to do. You can literally take the colors from an image if you want to like match the colors. That's a really cool way of doing it. Now one thing I'll do too is let's go ahead and just blade this clip, and let's just use this as an example. So let's say we want to select this clip right here, and we want to go to, let's say, like the color tools and open up the color wheel. We want to just like crank up the exposure, the shadows, and we want to create like a really cool look. We want to bring up the temperature to something like that. And then this is not perfect, I'm just going really quick, but let's say we want those, the temperature, all those color changes. Let's say we want to like save that for like future projects. We like the color of that and we want to save that to future projects. All you want to do is click on Save Effects Presets, and now you want to just like keep whatever checked, or whatever you want actually like saved, just go ahead and keep it checked. So let's say we want the transform, we can select on that, we can go through each one, and you only want to select the ones you want to save. Now go to category and then go ahead and locate the category, and you can rename it and then literally just click on save, and now it will save to your effects panel. So if we go to click on cancel, then you saw the category said colors. So if we save that, we would go to this category right here, colors, and scroll down. As you can see, talking head, this is a lot that I've saved, so you're just going to locate which category you want to have it saved, and there you go. That's how you literally save your own effects. So instead of having to like redo everything from scratch, if you want to create a LUT or create some sort of preset, you can just save it to your effects presets folder and you can use it for future projects. Now the next tip I want to go over is about sound design. So if I go ahead and select on this sound effect and just drag it on top of this clip right here. Now this sound effect is from an old project that I worked on. Obviously this sound effect is like a kitchen pouring sound effect with a post Malone video. Obviously this sound effect doesn't really relate to this scene. It doesn't really like complement the scene very well, but I just want to go over a couple tips and tricks. So what I like to do is I like to go to the beginning of the sound effect, and what I'll do is I'll open up the audio meters so I can actually see the actual like the levels of the actual audio. Now if I only want to have the audio of this sound effect playing, what I'll do is I'll select this right here, and that will isolate just this audio. Now what I'll do is I'll click on Command L, and I'll go ahead and click on like the backslash key right here, and basically it's going to play this sound effect, but it's going to continually loop it. So you can see the sound effect is just looping. So what I'll do is while it's having play and select the sound effect, I'll go to the volume, and let's say I'll decrease the volume until I get, let's say, go a little bit lower. As you can see, and the audio meters are going to automatically update, and that's what I'll basically just do for every single one of the sound effects. And that's just my little workflow. Those are just kind of things that I have found to be helpful. Now there are a couple really cool other things you could do with sound design, but that's just like my basic workflow and things that usually work for me when I'm doing sound design. The next tip I want to go over is how to fix the missing media problem. So as you can see, I have this like thumbnail right here on my desktop. If I go ahead and open up my Samsung T7 hard drive, and I'll go ahead and open up the project right here, and I'll basically going to show you how to fix this missing media issue. So let's say right here, what I want to do is click on Command I to bring up the import window. I'll head over here to desktop, and then I'll go to thumbnail, select on the thumbnail, and then I'll just click on import selected. So now I have this thumbnail right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and just drag it onto the timeline, and there you go. Nothing special, I just literally imported this thumbnail into Final Cut. Now what I have to do, if I go ahead and exit out of this project right here, so if I exit out of the project, and I go ahead and just literally exit out of the hard drive. Now let's say I'm doing something, whatever, I'm deleting something, and I select this thumbnail right here, and I click on Command Delete, and I accidentally delete the thumbnail. What's going to happen if I open up the Samsung T7 and I open up the project? What's going to happen is, as you can see this missing media. Now this is probably this dreaded thing that you always see in your, every time something like this happens, you start panicking and freaking out. What in the world, what just happened? Why is the file missing? It's because the file is actually missing. It's deleted. So what you want to do is just go ahead and just exit out of the project, and all you want to do is let's just exit out of this hard drive right here. Now let's go into the trash and literally take this and put it back onto your desktop right here. Exit out of trash. So now we go ahead and reopen up the project right here, and the missing media file should be perfectly fixed. There you go. See, the clip is no longer missing. So it's really important, don't delete video projects if you don't have them saved. Now what I like to do is I actually take all my video files, all my photos, and import them into my Samsung T7 hard drive. So I go ahead and click on, like you see, Command I right here, and I go over to my Samsung T7, and I go to so I scroll down, go to one of my projects, paper rip match cut. As you can see, media, all of my media files are right here. They're all saved in my Samsung T7. So when I import everything, I'm importing everything from my Samsung. I'm not importing anything from my computer. So if I accidentally delete something, the file is not missing. But I just want to just go ahead and show you why the file is missing. So make sure you don't delete old videos if you don't have them backed up somewhere, because there is no way of recovering them. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it really helpful and informative. Hopefully some of these tips were really helpful. These are just some some things I wish I knew a long time ago so I wouldn't make some of these mistakes. If you enjoy these types of videos, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you're looking for some really cool Final Cut Pro 10 presets, check out my digital store. See you in the next one. Peace.